The wonderful time of the Renaissance began in Italy and became soon popular throughout Europe. The beginning of the Renaissance goes back to the 14th and 15th centuries, when more well-educated people became interested in ancient culture. New times came, and an Italian architect, Giorgio Vasari from Florence, called them the Renaissance. The key feature of the Renaissance was the return to the ancient culture, revival of the humanistic values, development of science, reformation, and an art. The Renaissance was the age of discovery. Many universities were set up. The printing press, the Gutenberg's revolutionary invention, let the literature develop. Such famous people as William Shakespeare, Francesco Petrarca, Boccaccio, Erasmus of Rotterdam, Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, Raffaele Santi, Titian, and Nicolaus Copernicus of Poland lived in the Renaissance times. The Renaissance epoch changed the existing world, putting knowledge, experience, and thinking first. Many discoveries of the age weren't accepted by the Church yet. In our film, we would like to present the meeting of the two noblemen of the Renaissance times, an Italian genius, Leonardo da Vinci, and a Polish scholar, Nicolaus Copernicus. Both of them lived at the same time, so their meeting each other was highly probable if we note here Nicolaus Copernicus had traveled to Italy himself. We know exactly who Leonardo da Vinci was, so it's time we answered who Nicolaus Copernicus was. Nicolaus Copernicus was born on 19th of February 1473 in the city of Toruń in a rich merchant family. The family decided to educate him well. That was why they sent him to study in a Krakow academy after finishing primary schools. His uncle made it possible for him to continue studying in Italy. At Bologna University, he studied art, law, and medicine. At Padua University, he continued with medicine, philosophy, and canon law in Ferrara. Later in his life, he devoted himself to astronomy and made an enormous revolution. After years of sky observations, he did mathematical calculations and proved the Earth, as well as other planets, go around the Sun. It was a Copernicus revolutionary discovery. Our genius, just like Leonardo da Vinci, fell into serious trouble. His works and achievements weren't accepted at the time. Let's assume it's 1516, Italy. Nicolaus Copernicus arrived in Rome to introduce the Pope with his initial results of his sky observations. He was certain it was the Earth that circled around the Sun, not the Sun around the Earth. He is the priest who knows the Bible and knows that his discovery might not be accepted. It's a real revolution. If the Church doesn't accept that, he can't print his works. If he did so, he would find himself in real trouble. Belvedere Castle, Vatican, February 1516.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Copernicus.
I feel honored to meet you at last, Mr. Da Vinci. I've heard a lot of you, have seen your paintings, technical inventions, works in anatomy and in the human body. I'm glad we succeed meeting each other.
What brings you to Rome, Mr. Copernicus? I've heard something about your astronomical discoveries. Have you got strong proof for your theory?
That's the point. My theory is against the church doctrines, I'm afraid.
Ooh, I see you are going to overthrow the Bible and upset the Vatican.
Well, I'm afraid my theory won't be easily accepted. But look, these are my calculations. They prove I'm right.
It's not easy to introduce new theories and scientific discoveries. People don't accept new things easily. You must be patient. You will find it really hard. The Pope is more into advice of his Catholic advisors than into new revolutionary theories.
I want to show the Pope the introduction of my book. I'm not going to print it without his consent.
Tell me, what is your planetary system like?
Look at this chart. After years of observations and calculations, I'm certain that the Sun is the center of the system. The Earth circles around the Sun, not the Sun around the Earth.
How many planets are there in the system?
I suppose 7.
And what about the Moon? Does it go around the Sun too?
No, Leonardo. The Moon goes around the Earth.
Incredible! Many people think already the Sun is an unmovable star, but you have proven that with mathematical calculation. The Church and many scholars are going to dislike the idea.
Unfortunately, I am afraid so.
I will tell you one thing. I became fascinated with the human body many years ago. I wanted to explore the inside of the human body. I wanted to learn why people cry, sneeze, or why do they have a cold.
What did you do then?
I started the cooperation with the anatomy professor Marcantonio della Torre. We did secret exploration in the human body, examined the blood system, the muscles and bones of the human body too.
Such practice is actually against the law, Mr. Leonardo.
That's the point. The news about our work reached Vatican after a while. The Pope banned the anatomical exploration. I got almost arrested.
What did you do later?
Nothing. I had to give up my studies. I had learned much about the human body until then. Imagine, I was ready to announce a treaty on anatomy. A pity nothing came out of it.
Yeah, I've seen many of your anatomical sketches. They're incredibly precise.
Thanks indeed, Mr. Nicolaus. I did about 750 sketches. These are only few of them. Would you like to have a look?
With pleasure. I did a course in medicine in Bologna and Padua, as you know.
Here there are.
The drawings are incredible. It's a pity you couldn't go on with your studies. Do you think, Leonardo, they will see my discovery as an act of bravery? I'm meeting the Pope Leon X. I'm afraid a bit, to tell you the truth.
You know well, it is against the Bible and the Catholic doctrine. I expect problems here, Nicolaus.
I see.
Don't worry. Sooner or later, your theory will become a victory. People will learn the truth.
You are right. Do people need the truth about anything anyway?
Cheer up. Let's drink to your success, Nicolaus.
Nicolaus Copernicus didn't succeed in making the church authorities believe in his revolutionary theory. He presented all his findings to the Pope Clement III, which were ready to be printed in 1533. He didn't get any answer from the Vatican he was waiting for. In 1543, a few years later, he found enough courage to print his works in Nuremberg. Its title was De Revolutionibus Orbium Celestium. He died the same year, in May 1543. The historians claim he saw his work on a deathbed and did a revolution in astronomy in his lifetime. His work, however, wasn't accepted in his life and was put on the list of prohibited books in 1559. It was 276 years later when the theory was acclaimed and the book was removed from the list of prohibited books. The genius of Leonardo da Vinci and Nicolaus Copernicus was ahead of their time.